Welcome to the French Schnoofie. I'm Erin MacDonald. Today I'm going to be making what I call my flat out fajitas. And it's for people when you're running flat out through the day and you just want to make something super quick. Now typically fajitas are done on a grill pan and you have to stand and watch it at the stove. Mine are going to be baked, so it's great for when you're having a flat out day. Everything is done on this pan. So I'm going to start out with some peppers, and I like to use 3 different peppers. And I know that sometimes the yellow and the red or the orange peppers are actually more expensive than the green. I don't know why. I think because they're a little bit sweeter probably. But if you can buy the multi-packs, then these are just fabulous because you can use all of them. And I just have them drying off now. They were on some paper towels. I just washed them. I'm going to get these chopped and onto my pan. As well, I have my oven that is preheating. And it's preheating now at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to turn it down to 350 right before I put it in the oven. So, and what I want to do with the peppers, and what you should do, is turn them up so that way you're not cutting them this way on the skin. It's easier to cut them. So you will not cut yourself, just in case your knife happens to slide. So I want to get them all into strips. And or julienne, as they say in French. And so I want to do this with all of the peppers because it's going into the oven, the hot oven, and I want them to grill up at the exact same time. So I'm basically going to walk away and come back when they're ready. So I'm going to get a red one to finish that. Red are just really nice and sweet. So yeah, this is a great flat out recipe if you're busy and you just want to throw something in the oven and walk away. Maybe you have chores to do or homework with the kids or something like that. And fajitas are very popular. It's Tex-Mex, so I don't know too many people that dislike fajitas. So now I'm going in with the green, and I love green peppers. They have a little bit of a sharp bitterness that I just love. We're going to get them. I like to put them all on a line, but it's up to you if you want to mix them up. I just think it's more pretty, and that way you can choose which ones you want. So get the green peppers down just like this. Again, I'm not cutting them skin side down, skin side. The skin side is down, sorry, and the flesh part is up. There we go. And get this down like this. Some nice green peppers. And of course, if you have a larger family or you're doing this for a group, you could also increase your portions and make it a bigger portion for your guests or for your family. So now we're going in with the nice yellow pepper, and I like yellow capsicum as well. They're nice and sweet. Again, like this. There's not many seeds in this one or in these peppers, but typically you want to take the seeds out. They won't harm you, but it's just nicer not to have them, and they're also going to burn when they're in the oven. And I love putting them in the oven as well because you can kind of come back and just take a look. I'd say like 35 minutes, but you really want to just make sure that everything is grilled. And of course, the chicken that I'm going to be using today is done, and maybe even some nice dark bits around the edges of the vegetables. So there we have yellow, green, and red. It looks really pretty, doesn't it? And now I'm going in with some onion, and I enjoy onion as well. And what I want to do, I'm not going to chop it the fancy French way that I learned. I just want to get, again, some julienne strips. And the reason for that is the same as the peppers, so I want it to all cook up at exactly the same time. So I'm just going to go down like this so that you get nice slivers. Watch your fingers always, like this. And today's recipe is really easy. I mean, if you have more time, you can find recipes, you know, that you want to stay in the kitchen and make it a little bit more special. You can add lots of different ingredients. I'm sure there's thousands of recipes for fajitas and Tex-Mex cuisine. So now the onion, that was super fast, down onto my pan as well. And I'm running out of room here, so I'm just going to push everything back a little bit. So the red peppers, there you go. Yellow, and there we go. I want to get some corn onto my pan as well. I really like corn. I just think corn tortillas or flour tortillas, whatever you decide to use for your fajitas, I just like to add corn. So again, I'm not taking the stalk of the corn and cutting the corn. This is a fast way. I just have the can, it's already sweet. And I've drained it earlier, so I'm just gonna get the corn down like this. Really nice and easy. And I left my chicken for last. So I've made fajitas with everything you can imagine. I believe originally it started out with steak, like a skillet steak. I've made them with steak, pork. I'm doing chicken today. I've even done them seafood. And then of course you can do vegetarian if you're a vegetarian. So they're very versatile. Everyone in the family will love fajitas, I'm sure. Now this is quite a large chicken breast, so I'm probably only going to use half and then save half for later. And of course I'm using raw chicken, so I wanted to leave that for the last bit. Now again, what I want to do is cut it into those julienne strips, which is the strips that I used for everything else, minus the corn, because that would just be impossible. So nice and thin, and the reason for that is that it's going to cook up really fast and bake up in the oven. If I just left it in this big chunk of solid chicken breast, everything else would burn. So this is why we're doing this. Nice strips, really nice and thin. And as I said, I'm just cooking for 2 people, so I'm not going to use all of the chicken. I'm going to save that for another time. Now it's time to get dirty. So I have a seasoning pack, and these are great. You can buy these. These days you can get them with less sodium. You can see what's in there, if there's any MSG. It's up to you, just read the packet. And if you want to and you have more time, you can make your own. Just get some like cumin and some paprika and different spices like that. And again, you can find recipes for your own Tex-Mex should you have the time. But today we're making flat out fajitas. So I'm gonna get the chicken onto my pan as well. There we go. And as I said, I need to get messy here. We want to get all of that seasoning into all of our vegetables and of course into our chicken. So I'm going to put olive oil, not extra virgin, just regular olive oil. And I also have, my pan is lined with tin foil. And I'm doing that for easy cleanup because today I am flat out. Now, so take the seasoning pack and be liberal with it. Be generous with your seasoning. Just go over. Don't worry if you get a big bunch in one area, because I'm going to try and just massage it through a little bit before it goes into my hot oven. There you go. I love the seasoning. You can smell it. It smells so delicious. Tex-Mex cuisine is really one of my favorite cuisines. Now, like I said, I just want to kind of turn them over a little bit so that way I get oil all into the seasoning, a little bit into my yellow, just like that. And the same thing with the onions and the corn. And lastly, the beautiful julienne chicken strips. There we go. Now, this is going to go into my oven. I'm going to turn it down to around 350. It's on 400 degrees Fahrenheit right now. And when we come back, I'm going to show you some other quick cheats. So this is great. I'm not going to stand here and babysit. I'm going to go on and do something else. And in 30 minutes, I'll be back. So now we're back. It's been around 35 minutes, and I did keep an eye on it even though I was doing something else in the back. But I'm going to show you, it's really nice. 35 minutes, it was fast, and you saw the prep time, which was less than 10 minutes. So I'm going to show you a couple of other little hacks. First, I'm going to take it out and show you. And like I said, 35 minutes. But if you take a look and you notice that you start to see some brown bits, and your chicken, of course, looks like it's done and you know it's done, then take it out. And so perfect, you can see some nice dark bits on the onions. My peppers are charred, so you do get kind of that smoky look and smoky taste that you would get if you were doing it on a griddle pan, just not babysitting it like you would have to. So I'm going to show you a couple of other little tricks. And Again, this is flat out fajitas, so I don't have time today to be grating my own cheese. And you can find mixed cheese, all kinds of assortments, and they're resealable, so it's great. And this one just happens to be ready for tacos. Perfect, sounds Mexican to me. So I mean, done for you, you don't have to shred it. Another thing that I have, and I said I would never do this, is buy store-bought guacamole, but I found one that I liked. You can find and read the ingredients. I like this one, and it's great for a shortcut because it does take a couple of minutes to make your own guacamole. Again, it's all about shortcuts here today. So I'm just gonna put some that I already have here. Again, I didn't take time to chop up any fresh ingredients like tomatoes and so forth. I'm just using an Old El Paso salsa, and I'm gonna get it into a little saucer as well so that everyone can kind of make theirs. And that's the fun about fajitas, is that if you have a family member that's not fond of green peppers, they can leave the green peppers off. So you build your own, and it's really fun to get everyone involved. And so I'll just put that there. So I have the guacamole, you have your salsa, everything's ready to go. The only other thing that I'm going to do now is to get my tortillas grilled. And what you want to do is, if you want to put them in the microwave, they work really good in the microwave. You just put them on for a minute and they get nice and soft and warm. That's a really nice trick. But because I'm here and I have my oven, my grill, I'm actually just going to do these quickly so you can see and I can have one. Now I'm using corn tortillas, and I really preach corn tortillas. If you get the flour ones are okay, but corn, there's nothing quite like it. And what I do with them is just put them right over the open flame here. So this is something you'd want to watch if you had little ones around with the open flame. And these are great. They're actually yeast and gluten-free. And if you go to the aisles in the grocery store, you can find hundreds probably of these wraps these days, or if you want to use a hard shell as well, that would work for these, so that'd be great. Now this is only going to take just a second. You can see the nice colors on it. I love doing this. It's really super fast, and I'm just going to try one and show you. What I have here is just like a tray. If you want to put them on a plate and put them online so that everyone can kind of build their own, you can do that. There you go. And so I'm just going to show you. I'm going to take let me bring over so that way you can get a better look. I wouldn't serve it like this typically, just because it's not really appealing to be serving it on the tin foil on the pan. So what I would do is transfer it to something like this. It's really pretty. So I'm going to get a little bit of guacamole, ready-made guacamole. And yeah, I've fallen victim to this ready-made stuff. And it's for express nights when you just don't have a lot of time. And then some nice salsa, and it's delicious, and it's fresh, and it's cooling, so it cools down. You can really put whatever you want on these. Some people like sour cream, and I've actually used like a fat-free yogurt as well, or a full-fat yogurt. So do what you want, be creative. So I want to put just a couple of strips of my chicken down, just like that. 1, 2, beautiful. And now I'm going to go in for that corn. And I love corn and corn tortillas. I just love it. Really nice. And they have a nice smoky taste with all that Tex-Mex seasoning. So a little bit of onion. There you go. Some yellow. Some green. And lastly, some nice sweet red pepper. And I can't forget about that Tex-Mex shred ready blend that I bought. I'm going to reseal it up, put it in the fridge. And there you have a nice fajita. Really fast. I baked it in the oven. I didn't babysit it. I put it in, forgot about it, walked away. And this is really quick for a fast, speedy dinner. I hope that you give it a try sometime and you enjoy.